Hey everyone, welcome back to the Triathlon Weekly News Roundup. My name's Travis. Sorry for missing out on last week's episode. It just got away from me as my car broke down and a few other things just went wrong. You know how it is. But we're back today with a lot more news, and man, I love triathlon, so let's get into it. It's a beautiful day here. I've got lots of energy. I hope you guys do too. So without further ado, let's go over the headlines for the week. And we're going to start with the Oceanside start list that was just released, and oh my goodness, is it more stacked than we probably could have imagined. But it's also massive. And then we're going to go back to Clash Miami and get a bit of reaction from that race and what went down afterwards. Or should we call it Crash Miami? Because we're also going to take a look at Lionel's crash and how he's feeling a little beaten up. We're then moving on to Super League Sursee, where I actually have some in-person footage that was sent to me so you can experience a little bit of what it was like to be at the event, and also highlighting one insane performance that happened there. Then we're moving on to the Ironman penalty drama in South Africa. I hate to even bring this up, but we got to take a look at it. And then onto the Ironman broadcast schedule that was released. We can get hyped about this. Lots to watch this upcoming year. And then finally, we can take a look at Challenge Roth's recent decisions and whether or not Gustav got punished for the shoe protest that took place after Abu Dhabi. Finally, I've got a quick training update as some of you have been asking for. So without further ado, let's get into it. This time, we're not putting 5 minutes on the clock because I've been called out for that a lot of times for always going over it. So we're going to throw that out the window for now. So we're going to start with Oceanside 70.3 start lists, and in triathlon, this really is the big season opener. And oh my goodness, is it going to be a huge race on both the men's and the women's side. Just looking at the men's side, it's insanely stacked, but it's also extremely long. I don't know if I've seen a start list this long outside of Kona. That is going to be one epic swim start to watch, and finally we'll be able to see it live, but we'll get back to that later. Jackson Laundry actually heads the list here as he's the defending champion, with Jan Frodeno as the second name on the list, and we haven't seen him race in quite a while. Lionel Sanders is there, Sam Long, Ben Canoe, Eric Lagerstrom, and the recent champion from Clash Miami, Jason West. But the one name that I am so excited is on there as well is the current world champion, Leo Berger. He's going to be the headline short course athlete there, taking on the long course athletes. But he does have a lot of experience at 70.3 racing, so I think he's a top contender. And if you thought that was good, well, on the women's side, it's also just as good, with Kona champion Chelsea Sodaro, Jackie Herring, Holly Lawrence, Paula Finley, Grace Thack, Kat Matthews, Tamara Jewett, Sophie Watts, Danielle Lewis, and more racing. It's gonna be insane. Unfortunately, Taylor Knibb is not there to defend her title, but man, I think this is gonna be a really close one. I absolutely love this race, and last year we had an epic sprint finish on the men's, and I'm hoping for another one. So I'm calling on all of you right now to make your predictions. No changing them up. They're going to be here in the comments for after the race. I'm going to comment back on them and see if anybody got it right. Maybe there will be a giveaway. But for me, on the men's side, I'm going Jan Frodeno, and then Leo Berger, and then Jason West in third. We'll never bet against Jan Frodeno. It just doesn't feel right. And then on the women's side, I'm going Chelsea Sodaro, Holly Lawrence, Paula Finley. Okay, put yours in the comments below, and we'll see who gets the closest. Okay, and then moving on to Clash Miami, and I just wanted to go over this again. If you haven't seen my last video recapping it, please do. But I just wanted to bring it up because those results were amazing. I couldn't believe how much Jason West stood out, as well as Lucy Byram on the women's side. I really think she should be given a PTO wildcard for this performance. I'd love to see someone as young as her competing at the PTO event in May, and I believe she deserves it. And then on to the men's race, and Jason West was just leagues above. He was on another level according to Sam Long, especially on that run, running 4:53 per mile for 10.5 miles. I would love to know how that stands among triathlon records. But it was just a phenomenal performance. Really sets him up well for the PTO Tour coming up. If he can make the front pack swim like that and he can hold on the bike, then there's really only a few guys who can touch him on the run right now. So I'm super excited to see that. Sam Long didn't have the performance he was hoping for there as the defending champion and shared his race thoughts with us, basically saying the swim was his kryptonite. and that he's just trying to build fitness throughout the year and not peak at this time of the year. So excited to see how he improves with the rest of the season. And then Lionel Sanders did not have the race of his dreams. That crash that he shared with us actually right after it happened. Thankfully, he wasn't too badly injured. However, it is going to take some time, it seems, to build back into his training. Hopefully, though, he's still on that start list, strong and healthy and ready to go at Oceanside. So we'll just have to wait and see. But he did seem a little banged up in his last video. But I guess that's just what happens, part of the game. And if you guys didn't watch that video, he was basically told, as he didn't remember too much of what happened, that unfortunately he was pedaling a little too soon out of the corner in his TT position, and his pedal struck the ground and he went over the handlebars. So unfortunate for him, but a great race nonetheless. I was super bummed it wasn't live streamed. I actually don't know why that is, so if any of you guys know, please put it in the comments below. It seemed like the perfect race to live stream, and Miami seems like the perfect race to do live coverage. And then back over across the pond, we went to Super League Sursee on Sunday for an epic race. Again, they always put on such a good broadcast in my opinion. And this footage that you're seeing now is from someone who was there on hand at the race. His name's Ali with Endure Race Coaching. He has a great YouTube channel as well. He sent this over to me so you guys could get a little bit of an experience of what it is to go to one of these events. If triathlon really blows up like I'm hoping it is, I can see this event being really popular among spectators. Kind of more like a UFC event where you get to see everything happen live all at once, which I think that's perfect for the sport going forward. Henry Scruman on the men's side managed to take the victory. It seemed like a really close race. He only managed to pull ahead in the final stages of the last stage, and that's a huge win for him, marking a big comeback victory on his road to recovery since the Tokyo Olympics, and I can't wait to see him get to peak fitness like he was back in the day. And then on the women's side, to me, the standout performance there was from Fanny Salai, who just turned 15 in January, and she managed to get herself on the podium, but she led for parts of the race and it was just epic, a great storyline, and she is definitely going to be one for the future. I can't wait to see where she goes with her career. What do you guys think? Is Arena Games something that's going to be epic one day and all the athletes might participate in it, long course and short course? Or is it something that was really just suited for COVID and it's going to fade out over time? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But that brings us nicely to Ironman's new broadcast schedule that they just released. They've added a few more events to the list this year, starting with Ironman 70.3 Oceanside. I'm so stoked that they're back with Outside TV doing this. Can't wait to watch all the races. I just wish that every race was broadcast. I wish there was more emphasis on getting people to watch the races, more marketing behind it. I think triathlon could be a broadcast sport one day, so we'll have to see whether Ironman keeps putting the money into broadcasting their races or they'll let PTO take over that in the future. So I'm excited to see if anything really changes with that, or they just broadcast the races like they did last year. So good to see that it's back though, and we will have lots to watch again. And then staying on the topic of Ironman, back to some news I wanted to share with you guys last week after Ironman South Africa, and that was the disqualification of Justine Matthew, who was in third place just behind Fenella Langridge. She was doing extremely well throughout the entire race, and it would have given her significant points in the PTO. It would have had her take home $9,000 in prize money, but she was disqualified and she only found out at the finish line. And Ironman responded to why she was disqualified on a Try 24/7 interview, and basically they said Justine Matthew was issued a penalty on the bike course by a referee for an incomplete pass. Justine failed to serve the penalty on the bike course, but instead served the penalty midway through the run leg, which led to her being disqualified. Justine was not immediately stopped, as athletes are entitled to complete the entire course and lodge an appeal post-race. So these two don't really seem to add up. It seems like Ironman saying one thing, Justine is saying another thing, and nothing has been overturned. I wonder if she will appeal the decision. However, she was clearly upset on her Instagram, and I'm wondering if this is going to be another big topic this year, as nothing from what I've heard is going to change as far as Ironman penalties go and the refereeing and how they will officiate their races. So is penalties going to be another big dramatic point this year and give us a lot more headlines to talk about? We'll have to wait and see, but so far not off to a great start. And then we're finally on to the news about Challenge Roth's decision to remove a lot of motorbikes from the course. 40 fewer, in fact, is the estimate so far, with them now taking a huger step towards fairness within their race. I've personally heard about the drafting at Roth since I started watching triathlon, and that's why it's known for some epically fast times, including Magnus's and Jan Frodeno's 7:35s that have taken place there. I think this is awesome. I think Challenge is taking a giant step forward, a giant leap ahead in this department, and it's great to see that they really care, especially with the lineups that we have for Challenge Roth this year. This is going to be a real world championship level event now, and the fairness and the discussion around the race hopefully will be based now on who had the overall best performance, and that makes me really excited. And then we're on to the news that Gustav has been cleared of the shoe protest that took place after Abu Dhabi. If you guys didn't hear about it, somebody lodged a complaint about Gustav Eden's shoes that he wore for the race there, and after investigation, Gustav was found to be cleared. It wasn't a big deal. The shoes that he wore there, he can wear now at every race going forward. I saw a few things about this, and it was probably blown up out of proportion, but good to see that everything was in the clear and he wasn't doing anything wrong, and that he'll be able to use them going forward. Okay, that's it. No dramatic, huge headliner for you guys this week. Sometimes that's a good thing. I just wanted to also give you guys a quick training update from my life. It's been a little rough, gonna be honest. Haven't been able to do too much. However, I have been filming a couple of short film ideas that I've had, and will hopefully be editing them and posting them soon. My Achilles has just been down, and I've got some running in. I just did a half marathon a little too early and kind of strained it, and haven't been able to get back into running as much. My biking's going really well. I just did an FTP test while watching the Zwift race where Lionel was racing, and I think because of Lionel, I managed to maintain that 270 FTP. I did a critical swim speed test, which I will reveal with you guys in one of those videos that I post. And then, like I said, just getting back into the running. The goal is still Kona in 2024, but for now, I'm going to be doing all the local races around the beautiful area where I live here in Bellingham, and hopefully trying out some swim run, some relay races, as I'm now a part of Team Bellingham, which is an athlete ambassador program for the city here. So if you guys ever find yourself in Northern Washington, let me know. I'll take you around the area and I'll show you some great training spots. So super grateful for that opportunity. I'm hoping to sign up for one Ironman 70.3 and one full Ironman as well this year. Haven't quite signed up just yet, but I'm thinking 70.3 Calgary for now, and not decided on the Ironman just yet. Maybe Ironman Arizona. But for me, the primary focus is this channel, and if I went to these races, I would love to bring you guys along and show you some behind the scenes. And yeah, just hopefully you guys will have some fun watching me probably do miserably at these events. And also, I would love to document the pro racing, as I've said before in the past, but I want to more than ever, and I would love to be at Ironman Oceanside in a couple weeks, but I'm not going to be able to, it looks like, because I'm not an official news outlet according to Ironman. So if any of you guys know how to go about that process, I've written them a few times now and just waiting to hear what I need to do. I'm going to start a website and hopefully start writing a little bit more. So stay tuned for that, and if you guys know of any way to help me make this better, or reach out to Ironman and get me to some of these races, that would be greatly appreciated. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully you enjoyed the news. Sorry for last week missing out, and can't wait for some more racing and upcoming stories soon in the future. So as always, have a good one. Take care. Bye.